What is the name of Pang? That's literally my favorite hero.
You
and
play
I can't...
Pango. Hello?
Wait, it's Thunder something.
Sunsman?
Thunder Roll.
Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder. There you go. I was gonna get there eventually. Rolling
the
Boulder.
Really kicking in. Really kicking in today.
No.
You take,
Don't be an
your
ageist,
pills.
Jenkins. You're gonna be here one day. Okay. Well,
about
maybe
that.
not
Okay.
actually with your the amount of
Yeah,
drinks
witch's
you consume on a
cauldron
daily basis.
inside your damn belly of all those different liquids.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is something straight out of I thought would be like the Quincy Crew playbook here, but an Elder Titan for the Undying side is an
Really good
one.
against Enigma, especially if it's a 5, because then you're not gonna be able to farm that well, and try to counter like the astral. Here we go. The astral stomp.
Question mark?
Is that correct? It's astral
no
something. Jeff. I don't know why I'm having such brain farts today with these names, but usually it's just right on top of it. But
Echo Stomp.
Echo Stomp. Yep, that's right. It's astral.
Spirit.
Astral Spirit.
guys.
It's Astral Step for Void Spirit. God, there's too many. They've just had to reuse a lot of
Yeah.
these names. It's just it's too much, man.
Tied with the fish smash, right? Sunstand here coming out.
With
Fourth
the
pick
tentacle
for-
upbringing, yeah. Uprising of the tentacles. Good. That's more of a Moon Meander style, I think. But
Look at the team fight, though. My goodness. So certainly looking like it's going to be a position 5 Enigma here. But I guess then again, didn't we see a 4-position tied in this NA division? I think I've seen a 5-position tied in EU.
Yeah, puppy.
Yeah.
5 tied. I watched
Yeah.
Zero Man Ravage a few times.
it happens.
Oh, classic. And then he won. Against
But
OG.
hey, they got tremendous team fight, and they already have the Rubik on their team to at least have that covered. But spicy nonetheless.
This is like the double bubble strat, right? I mean, it's nice because if you get a cancel for Enigma Black Hole, like Tide Hunter is just very stable, right? He's going to get his Ravage off because of Kraken Shell in all likelihood, unless you layer really well and very precise. And it can still flex the position. You don't know what again, Tide's probably the 3, but like you said, we've seen some support. So if it's a really bad matchup for Tide, then maybe they could just switch it up and put Enigma there instead with all the denying shenanigans.
With this draft, I'm thinking like maybe Quincy Crew have identified that this Undying squad like just beat them by just like brawling better than they did, just running at them in team fights. And maybe the way that they think to beat this hero is just to like, okay, get Quinn on his hero that he's gonna like run around and do shit with. Like, we'll let him do all of this stuff, right? He'll do all the ganking, he'll do all like the lane pushing, and then everybody else will just team fight because this team only knows how to team fight. Like maybe it's something along those lines where they think this is the way to counter this team.
Now, we saw it way back, and this is, I guess, a call I can't even make because support's an offlaner pick. I was going to throw a silencer out there, something to shut down all this ridiculous team fight, but not really room for it. But here we got Lady Medusa as your win condition late game farming hero here.
Okay, well, very good against the Enigma. It's difficult to get off a black hole on this hero. She can just like instantly press the stone face bullshit.
Moon
Stone
called it the
face.
cheese
Oh,
hero.
God.
Moon called
You
it
guys
the
know
cheese
any of
hero,
the skills,
gentlemen.
by the way?
Wait, what skill did he say? I can maybe
He said
fill
stone
in here.
face.
Listen. I'm
Stone
losing
form?
it because of
Stone
it.
gaze.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Stone gaze. I don't want to get into this whole talking point about Medusa because the fact that she looks hideous by default doesn't make any sense. She should look beautiful, and then she looks hideous when Stone Gaze goes off. Always bothered me about the lore. Hopefully it doesn't end up in the Dota anime because then I'll be very tilted because they're going to get it correct. That's a whole nother story. But PPD brought this up last game, the fact that Quincy Crew had basically 0 initiation. Well, now they have too much initiation. I mean, they have big team fight for sure. So that's what they have going for them. And they have the percentage-based damage against the Medusa with Midnight Pulse. They just need a position 1.
You go all in on the brawl and team fight, though. You got to make sure that you got your fundamentals, your laning set up so they can even get to that point in the first place, though.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see teams still banning Anti-Mage versus Medusa. I feel like the timing of Medusa pushing into an Anti-Mage like really sucks for AM, and then the late game AM like doesn't even counter Medusa as hard as it used to. But still, it's cool to see that teams like respect the counter enough that it's like, all right, let's just not give them like the answer. It's like this Razor versus Troll thing. Like Razor's shitty, right? The hero's not that good, but against certain heroes, it feels amazing. So maybe that's where we're at with this Anti-Mage hero.
All right, well, here it comes down to Potentially Bryle's hero now being last. The Ember taken out. Still leaves a Storm, I guess, if you got to go for a Spirit. The Tiny had been a follow-up Spirit option. Puck, another game totally ignored. I think there was a stat in the last game by Knoxville saying there was only 11 games in all of DPC where Puck was ignored entirely. This is looking like the 12th time. 2 games straight.
And then for the other side, for Quincy Crew position ones that are left, I know I say this every game. I understand. I acknowledge. Ricky is still in the pool. I know he was nerfed, gentlemen, but I think it's actually a good Ricky game. They have like no roots whatsoever. Okay, yeah, that's his classic. I feel like he's not had a bad game on this hero pretty much the whole tournament. It feels like. Quite good.
This is where like Undying, if they go late game, they just win. Like even with this Tidehunter Enigma, I guess the Enigma is like the wild card depending on if it's offlane or not. But like Medusa Windranger with like an MKB and Maelstrom, I don't see how you're gonna outdamage that even with like a carry, with a really strong carry. So either you need like an ultra hyper carry or you need some like pushing carry like Juggernaut, but Jug's banned. So what do we have here?
Drow is a pushing carry.
Yeah, Yawar does play Drow. Okay, they go
wow.
game. I see.
Forgot that hero existed somehow.
All right, gentlemen, here we are. It's 1-0 Undying. Is this the draft that's going to force out tiebreakers here for who goes to the major, or are Quincy Crew going to take us to a game number 3? Jenkins, I'll start with you this time.
Oh! Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say Undying because Lelis chose the Tidehunter instead of Enigma. I think Undying's going to win in the late game.
Suns fan, I'm curious what you were thinking about picking.
I was going to pick Undying. I am not copying Jenkins. I just want to make everybody understand that. He just saw in my face that I look like an undying creature from the depths of hell. So he just copied that based on my facial reaction. So I will go Undying as well, Mr. Coddle Guy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You can't win. You can't win here.
Can't win. You can't win. So we'll see, though, who ends up winning the game. We got to get into a break, but when we come back, we've got Lyrical and special guest PPD on the mic.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're here for game number 2. It's all coming down to this, of course. Quincy Crew back up against the wall as they face off against Undying. PPD, how you doing, man? You ready for this one?
Yeah, I think I like the Quincy Crew's draft a little bit more. They've got some more forms of initiation, which I felt like they're really lacking, and they've got a ton of team fight, which is where we saw the Pangolier kind of outshine Quincy Crew last game. So better draft. I think the Medusa is really interesting, but I mean the Bryle Windranger, it's such a wild card. Like to me, this hero is somewhat of a miss, but if he has a good game, you know, he could end up solo carrying just like last one.
Yeah, you know, it's an interesting point. I think that Morphling is a hero that we've definitely seen a lot of, but also sometimes feels like that kind of specialist-oriented hero. Windranger, definitely a specialist-oriented hero, but much less sort of vision of him.
We've talked about it a bit, but Bryle's a very unique mid player. He plays much more carry. I think Windranger's a little bit more active than a Morphling is, where he's not just going to play around the mid lane all game until he gets E-Blade. So it'll be a lot more about how Quinn rotates versus how Bryle rotates, and I can see Windranger potentially pressuring the mid tower, but I think it's more likely for him to try and go out and gank this Wraith King or kill this Tide once he gets Focus Fire.
Right, that makes sense to me. Maybe one of those first items like a Javelin or something as well.
Yeah, and I think this is great for Quincy Crew because this is kind of the game that Quinn wants to play. He doesn't want to be, you know, sitting mid versus Morphling.
Right, yeah, that part sucks, definitely. So take that one away from him, see if you can do something slightly different, as LOA already denying some creeps up on the top side. You can see the movement over. Dubu wanting to catch some of this experience with Saberlight and maybe even get a little bit of bullying back depending upon how it all goes, but
usually the ETs, they do the Spirit, right? And then they port, and then the Spirit runs all the way across the map, and then you could potentially get like 4 heroes on your Spirit by doing this, and then you just slap at level 1.
Nice. Even the slaps. Speaking of slaps, they got all 3 of those Eidolons of LOA. So yeah, he's taking a long way walking back over there. It doesn't end up actually... He's doubling up on his damage here. Gonna try and get the pushback. So this was a specialty that we saw also from Quincy Crew, and now it's Dubu that's gonna be playing it. This was the SVG Classic.
The Enigma? Oh, the ET, yeah. I have seen Dubu He does play Elder Titan. Undying and Elder Titan would be his melee heroes of choice, I think. So this is not a hero he's a stranger to. But yeah, it is, you know, a favorite of SVG's, so you would expect it there more. But pretty good against the Enigma, another BKB black hole cancel. So really hard for SVG to play around his ultimate this game.
Definitely. As you can see already early on here, trying to do some battle with these denied out Eidolons whenever possible. But you can see they're still getting in range to get some of that experience on Moon Meander, though it's never going to be quite as good as you want on it otherwise. And moving over to try and pull this wave back, actually. That's what we're seeing next from the Rubik. Does it get connected over? They will catch the range creep. MSS not quite able to find that one.
It's the hard part about playing Undying. It's just like sometimes your laning phase just looks like it just looks bad, and your hero is supposed to have like some strength in laning phase, but then the enemy team just pulls the wave, and all of a sudden you're like kind of playing no lane 1v1. It's like not your favorite place to be.
Yeah, this one's weird. Leslau actually is going to have the creep waves meet back up again, sort of. Oh, not quite actually. So this one's going to be back by the tower. Leslau is, and we'll see if Tomato decides to pull his behind. It actually gets caught up on the hard camp, interestingly enough. So very weird lane mechanics going on. As up top, some extra action on to Saberlight as he's in maybe a bit of trouble. Looks like he's going to be able to get out. Has the salve. I never know like what the hell is who's favoring when the lane gets this weird or awkward. Do you think one team is a little bit happier with this situation down bottom?
Radiant lost both their couriers, and Tomato actually lost it before he got his first round of items. So I would say Dire is quite favored at the moment, and it's about to get better for them as the lane goes on, I'd say.
It's definitely frustrating then. Yeah, trying to secure whatever last hits they can. 14-6 right now versus the Tide 9-4. But as you said, not getting those items out can be a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, that being said, you know, Pangalier's having a better game than last one, and he put in a lot of work in the last game, so we'll see what he does with an average amount of core farm. And then a lot of Eidolons actually being fed by SVG this game. Bottom's got 12 CS as well, so they're both very farmed.
Right. Obviously, able to deny a good chunk of them here and there, or rather, denying the range creeps, but it's a little bit weird like that. Is trying to battle over to the side. Moon Meander trying to pick away at a couple of those Eidolons along the way as well, but he's making a movement over possibly to try and help secure a rune, in fact, and this is going to be Quinn needing to sort of bank on it spawning down bottom here.
Yeah, no Aether Remnant, actually, so... Oh, and the Shackle.
It's up top anyways, though. So can they get it out in time? Yeah, Brow's just going to be able to run up there, and he gets himself a haste rune. Not bad.
Yeah, really nice. 4-minute runes are a big deal, but Quinn will likely just play passive, maybe give up a couple CS and get that 5-minute bounty rune.
Oh, definitely.
He's alright, he's still got a salve and stuff. It depends if Bryle ends up getting a kill with this haste. Haste plus focus fire is quite something.
Definitely. Another round of stuns coming out now on a Saberlight, and in fact, he just goes down. LOA able to draw first blood. So taking full advantage of that moment. We just stepped a bit too close.
Yep, another Pangolier having a questionable laning phase. Looks like he is actually the 4 position. Sort of again, right? Moon Meander had so much farm on the bottom last game while Pangolier struggled, but I think this is kind of their style, whereas Saberlight is, you know, sort of a glorified support for this team because they've got such a farm-heavy duo core between their mid and their safe lane players.
Interesting, yeah.
And basically have like 3 supports, and or at least like when he's playing Pangolier, I mean, this hero just gets demoted to position 4 just because he's so bad in lane usually.
I mean, do you think that it's the type of hero that can kind of make up for it with the spells later, or is it a hero you really want to get that farm on?
No, I think he's fine just to get his ultimate and start making stuff happen. It's kind of like Mars. You're just a walking ultimate at a certain point in the game.
Okay.
And Mars is a hero they used to really like playing as well, so it makes, you know, kind of fits.
Another courier goes down. Tubu loses his.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Get a couple quick punches there, Yeah.
Boots first 4 players. They're the worst. So annoying. Okay. Looks like they're...
Popping it.
He looks pretty dead.
Yeah, LOA mega dead. Got the regen rune though.
Yeah, but the... Yeah. Potentially worth, not sure. It is a death, but it's not like Bryle didn't have a bottle, you know, he had his haste. He had his bottle full with his haste, so...
Good point. And Dubu also going to drop down bottom. So a little bit more action than we saw in game number 1 last time.
Yeah, Dubu's going to Strug City right now. This is 2 courier deaths. You know, he's got his first death on laning phase. Really struggling, super poor.
Man, he's got a Windlace and a Dream, but picks up a couple more things on his way back in. He's going to refill the bottle here for Bryle.
And Dubu had significant impact in the last game on the Enchantress. Remember how tanky he was, how many kind of sort of like botched initiations by Quincy crew trying to kill him. Not really going to be the case this game on Elder Titan. He's, you know, they go on him, he's probably just going to die.
Right. That's something to watch for, definitely, if they can sort of take advantage of that. And some of that, again, probably goes back to the early double kill they're able to find. As Roland up top wants to get it. Oh, he gets level 6, but doesn't have the mana. Pop stick, that's going to keep him alive and well. Doesn't look like they can really make that pressure onto LOA. And in fact, with the rotation coming in from Quinn, it's Dubu that's the one that's in a little bit of trouble. Still no points in the 8th arena, but he catches an arrow.
Oh, the arrow.
All right, Mr. Moon.
Very nice. Dubu very grateful right now. They had 270 gold. You know, you can't really afford to lose that gold at this point. It's, you know, it's not going to be getting any gold anytime soon, so... One of those, maybe you get your boots at 10 minutes kind of games.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's alright.
Okay.
He's probably just going to max Echo Stomp and be like a spellcaster. Oh, look, another convenient haste rune spawn there for Bryle. Very happy about that. All 3 runes going the way of Undying so far.
I feel like there's got to be some type of a stat about, like, you know, Quinn and the number of runes he gets versus win rate, because I feel like enabling this guy is just, as we talked about multiple times, the key to this Quincy crew draft, and now he's having to walk back home. Not what you want to have.
Yeah, oftentimes that's just how the game is played, and the team that gets the more runes generally wins the mid lane, and that's why a lot of teams pick their mid laners really early. You know, talk about EG and Abed playing, you know, Void Spirit, Puck, Batrider, Action Top. They're actually going to be able to probably get him here. They got the Javelin on Wind Ranger. He wants to save his ult.
Oh, moving back in with Quinn now. Saberlight is going to go down, and Bryle trying to back away from there. Can he get out of there in time? The Remnant pulls him back in deeper, and now Bryle, in a world of hurt, ends up getting dropped. Good rotation back in by Quinn.
Yeah, really good of him to be fight ready. You know, even though he hasn't got the runes, he had full bottle plus TP ready for that go there. Many mid players would have gone back to base after getting their bottle with an empty bottle and then TP back mid and be unable to react to a gank like that, but super heads up play from him.
And in a way, it kind of, you know, not that it was going terribly for Quinn necessarily, but it wasn't like going great. It's a huge boon getting those kills and getting involved in them. So
yep,
nice
and that's
stuff
all.
There.
That's all it takes, right? Now, even though, you know, Wind Ranger got the first 3 runes, got 2 of the first 3 runes, and Quinn got 0. He's ahead of the Wind Ranger with just that kill on net worth. So looking
like trying to make a move, and thinking about it, drops the black hole right there onto Bryle's head. This is why this position 5 Enigma is so nice.
Yeah, and you can see Quinn, the master of these rotations here. Just making ganks happen. Bryle, you know, has to move out of the mid lane. A little uncomfortable.
Now LOA drawing a lot of attention over to this side of the map is going to end up getting picked off. And instead it's Quinn who's getting up in Tomato's face a little bit, but then decides to back out afterwards. So 2,000 gold lead for Quincy crew here. 2-5 in terms of the kills. Anything that's really concerning you from either team? Like, you particularly liking or worried about something from one of them?
I mean, I think Quinn is just in his element right now. This is all of the Quincy crew games that we've seen throughout the rest of the DPC. He's just, you know, he's gotten He's gotten what he needs out of the laning phase. He's starting to pick up runes. He's starting to rotate, getting kills. Really just, and Yawara's just farming like a, like a good carry player should. So everything looking good for Quincy at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah. Or getting close to having that relic done now. His level 8 did pop that ulti like we saw in that last fight, but it's going to be off cooldown pretty soon as he can take over this side of the map a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Wraith King ult is just, it kind of lets you farm that extra wave that normal carries wouldn't be able to farm.
MSS got the better moon there. Comes on in, steals the arrow, and throws it back in his face. Well done.
Yeah, I really like MSS on this Rubik versus the Dark Willow. You can just see that his impact already. So, and such a better laning phase, right? Rubik has guaranteed usefulness, right? Dark Willow, you kind of need to combo your stuff, and it'd be hard to combo as a Dark Willow with a Razor, right? A little bit easier with the Rubik Tide.
Leslie, we haven't seen a Ravage yet, but hasn't really need to happen as they're going for a roll up there. So they really thought about it, but he's just sort of trying to scare him away. Kind of matchup.
He's just playing the wall this game. He's going to stand in front and try and draw Radiant's attention to him as his Wraith King farms up this Radiance. Radiant has to really ask themselves, can we actually kill this Tidehunter, right? If he gets a Ravage off when we all go on him, what happens then? And I think the answer is they all kind of just die at the moment, so they've got to sit back and give Quincy Crew the map.
Scary stuff here with Quinn having a DD. The smoke broke briefly on Saberlight as MSS looking for the arrow, going to throw through. They're able to dodge away from it. Saberlight, arrow on the other side. Tomato runs in, looking for all of them. LOA has Black Hole in 30, so they won't have it for this fight. Getting destroyed here. Ravage doesn't even get off as 3 die in Saberlight. The one that was chasing for more couldn't find it, but 6 stuff from Undying.
Getting caught behind the enemy tier 1 tower. I hate to see it. Really, it's so much easier for Radiant to land their spells in a position like that. Dire is just lacking vision, and Radiant is close, right? They don't have to chase, and able to just combo everything there. Huge Mystic Stake, huge ET Stomp. Just ran in with the Stone Gaze. But that was most of their ults, so Dire could, say, hey, let's go mid tower, but because they have the Wraith King, who is still sort of trying to hit his timing, Dire is probably just going to kind of sit back and arm it up.
Yeah, the way of
very good stop by Radiant. I think it was actually really necessary for their game, because if they would have lost this mid tower while Wraith King wasn't there just farming, this game would be looking very one-sided, I think.
Yeah, and it's much closer at this point now. Still some things I would imagine to worry about is, Medusa has Manta, but not really a ton of damage at this point. You've got that Radiance coming out soon on Wraith King. I want to see what this next move is that Quincy Crew try and make. Particularly, they've got Black Hole available if they want to make some type of a move around that. But
yeah, it's probably just wait for the Radiance and then do maybe even level 12 on Wraith King. I think you might wait for, and then look to just try and get this mid tower or pressure the tier 2 bottom.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, that Radiance flying out right now as Wraith King takes out the stack. MSS picking up some of that XP along the way as well. As back towards mid, Quinn playing up in the face of Tomato. And up top, Leslau also going to be forced back a little bit by this Brile Windranger, who has Maelstrom done. Going for the BKB next.
Yeah, I always felt like Windranger got hit really hard with the nerf to MKB. So people have been going this. Oh my gosh, Brile, that was...
He's wild, out of his mind. Oh my god.
Really didn't even get the rune.
Yeah, and that was the blink reveal for Leslau. Not often you get a blink reveal kill on the mid laner without Ravage being used, but they still have it now. And wait, where's the vision? Leslau, in the midst of all of them, is over there. MSS and Yor moving towards mid as well. Not waiting for that level 12, wanting to get something done with Windranger dead. They still have an angle here to go for the blink Ravage, and Tomato not able to Manta dodge, but the jump in coming afterwards from Saberlight. Taunt pulls back into Tomato, able to get that Stone Gaze off. That's 1 life down. Coming back in just a moment. And will they be able to go for any more here? Saberlight. Oh, they're on him. They're on Bryle. They blow him up. Arrow, though, afterwards catches onto Quinn. Where's the help? They don't have anybody to help take him alive. Black Hole down onto 2 afterwards, throwing out the follow-up arrow coming from MSS, but they take down LOA. Now buying back on everybody. Or at least just that ET. They're on the way. Dude, he's everybody to me. That's what matters. They're going to take down the kill on MSS.
Okay. So Bryle, looking a little tilted this game, but Tomato, picking up the slack here. Actually team fighting on Dusa, which is huge. Saw Wraith King get active with his Radiance. Did have to expend his ultimate. Yeah, I mean, win for Dire, I suppose, but not getting rolled over. Okay.
Yeah, they, like you said, get the tower taken, which opens up some more of the map here. As well, Quinn pairing together with Leslau finds the follow-up kill on the Moomiander. So, interesting timing here. Dire checking Roche, making sure that, I don't know, I guess that's not being taken. That was even a possibility. I guess the Pango, like you're talking about, always need to be keeping in your back mind.
Yeah, I mean, it happened last game, right? They didn't really expect it.
But 4,000 gold lead now. Do you think that that's something that Quincy crew would think about going for in the near future here? Or do you think it's more important to try and get the rest of these like tier 2s cleared up?
Well, I don't think that tier 2s are that important. I think it's more so they're going to just kind of take a fight, smoke in to the enemy team's triangle, stop Dusa from farming.
Speaking of which, they got Tomato here. Stone Gaze comes out, and that forces back Quincy crew. But able to bait that out of Tomato's not bad.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a pretty big cooldown, and that's probably going to lead to Quincy crew looking to smoke when Black Hole and Ravage are a little bit, or maybe just when Ravage is up. And I was trying to say is like they're just going to try and take Deuce's triangle away from her. She's not a hero that wants to play on the side lanes and split push, so you can walk up to their high ground, take that away. That's kind of the best way for you to build an advantage.
Radiant are scanning.
They get the DD taken, and instead it's the smoke up coming from Undying. They're going to try and find Yawar over to the side here, but the counter play coming from Quincy crew who are in the area. This is getting close. Jump in. They find one. I mean, they caught the ulti on Saberlight. Arrow's even going to be off the mark, but I don't think it matters. It should just be Quincy crew running away now. Interesting decision there to go in with the ulti from the Pango.
Yeah, they had the vision, right? They saw with this ward. Man, it was you see the Enigma. That's a really great initial target for Radiant to focus on. They almost got that Wraith King though. If they would have just continued with that smoke into the Dire triangle, I think they would have actually got him there, and his ultimate was still on cooldown, so it would have been a huge kill.
Power shot. Finding Bryle, not able to connect with the Remnant though. Actually even going to cancel that TP in from, I think it was the Pango that was trying to move over. So 20-minute mark coming up pretty soon. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of concerted move at the moment by Quincy crew to make something happen yet. As LOA drops down a ward. That one should be scouted, although they have a sentry of their own.
They might black hole the Pangolier up here if he's not quick. Oh, there's a blink on your war.
Ooh, well done. Don't even need it. I was sick though. They don't take out the sentry because they know that would have revealed their position. That's really good.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Huh. In the jungle, Quinn, DD run. Looking about testing Moomiander a little bit more. Meanwhile, back up top, Yawar gets hit with the shackle there. A couple of heroes nearby. As Undying not willing to give up that tower for free. Or the bounty runs.
Really important that they defend these towers, and they're doing a good job of committing a lot of resources to doing it. And I think Tomato especially doing a really good job of showing up and just being there with that Mystic Snake early to clear the creep wave. It's gonna just, if they lose these towers, they're gonna lose their triangle, and I think it's way too hard for them to play at that point. So doing a good job of hanging in there, even though things are kind of getting, this Wraith King is getting a little too farmed.
Mm. Do you think if it stays about this like sort of level going into the late game, Undying can still play against them, can still fight? Like how strong do you think Medusa's going to get?
I mean, Deuce is going to get really strong, I think. So can definitely put in a ton of work. Just going to be all about forcing that Stone Gaze and backing out and not overcommitting in these team fights.
Okay.
Which is tough because
Fine and Bryle. Arrow afterwards. Good timing. They pop the Ravage to secure the kill. Afterwards, they have Black Hole available if they want to drop it. Need to be careful. LOA, can he drop down lower? It throws out that Malefice, and he's dead. 1 for 1 so far, but they've also got the Pango, and now turning on to Tomato. He is going to be saved by the Stomp. Arrow comes out to take down the Wraith King. He's back in a moment. And it looks like Quincy crew pulls off the charge after claiming a couple lives.
Yeah, not the cleanest fights from either side, just a lot of spells going out and, you know, things connecting here and there. I mean, biggest story for me is just Bryle really struggling on this mid Wind Ranger. Just, you know, 6.8k net worth, just way behind the other cores in the game, and yeah, it's going to be all up to Dusa. And she's got her Scotty now though, so she's very strong. I do think that she will outscale the Wraith King at a certain point. Well, it's probably not going to be for another item or two.
I guess there's always the threat later on of like halberds or something coming out from somebody, although you are not queuing that up.
Trying to force the Roche, but...
I mean, they know about this.
No Ravage. No Wraith King ult.
Black Hole is available, and Wraith King ult, yeah, it's down for 50 seconds still. It's a good point. Oh, wait, Saberlight goes in. What a play!
Huge. No buyback.
Damn.
Wait, how much? No, buyback in 200.
Oh, man, but no bounty runes, no nothing else nearby. Quinn, he's not going to be able to get into this, and they got to give it up. Wow, what a play by Saberlight.
Yeah, talk about a support Pangolier. He's got Blink Dagger first item.
Support Pango, yeah. I mean, I guess...
usually you see like some Maelstrom or, you know, at least the Javelin or something, right?
Yeah.
No, but that Blink Stun was exactly what they needed. They really lack that instant disable, which makes this such a great Void Spirit game. But if they can, you know, initiate with that one stun at the beginning, you know, they've got follow-up. So awesome job by them.
It sometimes just comes down to the vision they get too. Like this ward up on the high ground here placed by Dubu, it's been there for a long time. That's what allows him to make that play. So whole team effort by Undying, making it work.
Bottom on into bottom. Oh, nice.
Jump away there. See if they get the D ward or not. Dubu's coming over already, and actually doesn't quite connect onto it. Okay.
Sad. The guessing game.
Yeah. Well, smoke up coming now, right on top of Vision. They had that ward there. They know.
Well, they see it. They see that they're walking into a Dusa, and they decide to take a different angle.
What can they find? They have Blink Black Hole, Blink, Ravage as well. Dodges the arrow. Thinking about going for the roll up yet again. Needs to be careful. Skilling one, jumps onto Bryle. You are now the man in front. That's Aegis down already. What else they got left in the tank? Leslau being zoned out right now by this Pango. And it looks like, for now at least, they're holding out. Could go for a round 2 of this one as LOA looking for an opening. Dubu, Echo Stomp already down. LOA moves in, drops down that Midnight Pulse. They break the Blink Dagger of Leslau again. He's got it back up. And with Stone Gaze still in hand, I mean, they burned through the Aegis. That's good enough, it feels like.
Yeah. But Bryle is going to get his BKB, which I think is the bigger objective here. So it's going to at least give him maybe an ability to fight. Because right now he's just, I don't know, he's just kind of like a shackle shot, right? He can't really go in.
It's true. Yeah. Need to get that for sure. And sort of allow him to have a bit more of a free game.
Bounty
they're going again.
Fight top, potentially.
KB again ready. Arrow goes out. Quinn dodges. Yule Scepter lift up.
They have arrow.
Caught there. Arrow afterwards. It's a lot of disable. But there's the shackle that comes out. Medusa still standing in that Midnight Pulse. Leslau jumps in. Ravage able to connect. Trying to bring him down. Black Hole up from the high ground. Can they kill her off in time? No! Look at Saberlight who jumps in, saves the day. Shackle onto both of these heroes as they're turned to stone. Yawar trying desperately to kill Tomato. Another arrow comes out from Rubik, trying to do everything they can, but Tomato barely living, walking away, eventually brought down by Quinn. Meanwhile, Yawar comes back to life. Saberlight did so much in this fight, but is going to get chased down. The fight was looking good for a moment, but Undying eventually get punished as Quincy crew. They had all the spells.
Yeah, and Bryle popped his BKB, I think, the second he died there. So really just really underwhelming game from him here. Just really struggling on this last pick Wind Ranger.
Absolutely. 10K gold lead now. And I mean, you're starting to get into some of these items. AC done on UR now, and what else? Solar Crest done. Tidehunter's going for an Ags. Why not?
Yeah, this just seems like the weakness of having this Pangolier 3 position. Like, you look at Leslau on this Tidehunter, just being that big front line for his team. You have the Void Spirit who can jump in. Radiant really doesn't have anyone that just wants to go in, besides maybe the Pangolier if he has good vision of the fight, but that's not really a certainty in most cases. So, yeah, game is just so much easier. This Tide goes in, this Wraith King goes in, this Void Spirit goes in, and Enigma and Rubik can just sit back and have really great spell casting, which we're seeing in these fights.
Saberlight caught. Does get that Ag shard roll up and roll away. They pop ulti. They're able to steal it now. Rubik has it for the turnaround if they want. Shackle's gonna land. But MSS may be ready to go in at a moment's notice. He's a cube. He's chasing him. Bounce back and forth. Kills off Dubu. And this is gonna be a tier 2 tower.
Yep, gotta say I love MSS on the Rubik here. I think it's really good against the Potom, which was the first pick from Undying. So I would say potentially a hero to look out for if there is a game 3.
Man, he won the NADPC MVP, I think, for the second, or I think it was the second week, if I'm not mistaken. One of those weeks in there, playing as Rubik and showing off again here. Again, very, very solid. As it's a very significant lead. Roche, still 3 minutes until it's capable of respawning. I mean, do you think anything changes in the state of the game with the next couple of minutes before Roche comes up for that fight? Like, are we going to see anything else that sort of challenges what we've been seeing from both of these teams? You think that Undying are going to have what it takes to contest for that Roche?
Not sure. I just think that they're really lacking other participants in these fights. Like, they have some big ults from Elder Titan, but kind of hard to land, I think. And Dusa, maybe Dusa needs a rapier, right?
Okay.
Maybe that's the window of opportunity for them. But I gotta think it's gonna be really hard for them to contest Roche. But if they get a good angle, right, they get maybe that that pick on that Void Spirit without buyback again, something like that, then there's a potential window where they could get an Aegis and get an Aegis, buy a rapier, go down mid lane on Dusa. There's a win condition.
We've seen it before. I'm sure we're gonna see it again at some point. But getting closer now to this next round of outposts being claimed, and Quincy crew having the opportunity to get one. Undying can't take a tier 2 tower reasonably, so we'll see if they even come and try and contest for it. Seems pretty tough though.
He skipped the Yules this game and actually went for the Ag Scepter, and then he's giving up on the Ag Scepter halfway through, and he's going back for the Yules.
On who now?
On the Potom. Last game we saw him with the Yules, right? He was kind of constantly catching the Void Spirits with the Yules arrow combos, and this game not really doing the same. Going for the damage from afar build, I guess.
Yeah, interesting.
Smoke your top.
Won't be the one caught quite yet. It looks like he does manage to get the leap away on Moon Meander. Keeps him alive. Again, buying more time for Tomato.
Yeah, but they're really just waiting for Roche. They don't want to, they don't want to go high ground. They maybe don't even want to push these tier 2s until they've got an Aegis. It's really hard for Radiant to say, like, how does Radiant start a fight that is actually going to be in their favor? They need to jump this Rubik or jump this Enigma, but they're just staying in the back, way behind this Wraith King, who is... Oh, they're going on the bottom here. She's dead.
Poor guy. Just gets wall up there trying to pick up some of those bounty runes, and now the chase down, looking for it. He's got him. Saberlight getting eaten up. One more punch in spite of the roll up.
Yeah, I love the Tidehunter Ags build here. This is just nuking from very far away. Pretty nice. You can stay really far away from Dusa and help connect on these split pushing enemies.
Yeah, and I mean also getting the gush armor at 22, so that much more minus armor when you have the jump in from Void Spirit. It's kind of got all this sort of physical damage that you don't normally talk about. Usually it's almost always the magic, but you can get it out in a big way, particularly if there's a Solar Crest on somebody else. And lift from afar. I'm not going to go. MSS is just like, hey, just so you know, I got you. Give you a little hand there.
Roshan will respawn in 30 seconds.
Okay. And for the side of Undying, Tomato opting to go for the MKB, has a BKB queued up next. So not feeling like he can take that chance yet on the Rapier. See if the next item gets to switch up depending upon what happens around this next Roche fight that we know is going to be coming.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a nerfed item. I mean, it's okay. We'll see if it's enough to be a difference maker. I feel like they're just going to focus him with pretty much all of their ultimates and spells, and nobody else on his team is really going to do anything.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Un is stacking the enemy ancients at the moment. And also trying to farm them up. I like it.
Yeah, fine. Oh, there's the Roche. There's a Dubu Spirit in there, so possible they know it's up. They know it's going down. Not smoking, so that makes me think they're not going to contest.
Oh, this is interesting. They bring in some heroes, but not everybody. Oh, and Medusa got caught. The roll in to try and interrupt. Tomato hasn't popped ult yet. Arrow goes out. Not going to connect onto her. Moon is dead by virtue of Yor. Saberlight keeps her on her way, and there's going to be the black hole as they move over. Ravage drop down afterwards. They interrupt the black hole. Still stunned. Medusa didn't get off a shot, and now Dubu gets walloped by Yor. Triple kill for him. Now looking for a bit more. Bryle pops the BKB in retreat as the all chat lines are coming out right now. Quincy crew feeling themselves.
Yeah, this is a disaster of a game for Bryle.
Damn. As Leslau moves in, swipes him at dead behind that tier 4 tower. That is going to be a full 5 wipe, and now taking down some buildings as well. Quinn getting Saberlight back for what happened last game.
Damn. Spicy game 3 incoming.
Absolutely. You'll love to see. MKB now done for the Wraith King, as well as both teams. You know, there's a lot of pride on the line for this one as they take down Moon yet again in his base. Let's just let him know what he thinks about it. Good stuff. Oh, they didn't even get Roche yet, so they can go back for it now. Perfect.
Everyone else is, I mean, Quincy crew is playing really well, but to me, it's just night and day. You know, Quinn this game versus last game, and the impact that he's having, the fact that he's able to rotate because there isn't this Morphling pushing his mid tower, because Wind Ranger's also rotating. I think Void Spirit just does it better. So, really like. I guess I just sort of disagree with the way Undying thought about this mid pick for them. I thought when they picked the Dusa, maybe they were just going to put the Dusa mid, kind of treat it that same way as like the carry Morphling. But they ended up picking the Wind Ranger, which, you know, is not looking too hot.
I think that you know, when you have these very like obvious differences in the game in terms of you know, what's changed, it does provide some introspection possibilities. As Saberlight moving in, War, one that they would run into. Instead, it's maybe Quinn here. No, they're not finding anybody. But I want to see what the drafts look like. Definitely, as
there they go.
Jump. They find him. Quinn dodges the arrow. Can't do it. Can't do it. Now, War moving in. They're going to TP out. Oh, into the lift. He couldn't TP quickly enough.
Yeah, he's getting tipped for sure.
Oh, no. What a guy. Nonetheless, going high ground now.
Yeah, they'll try and do the Deuce to defense, but 27,000 gold, pretty hard to come back from.
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's been done before, but I don't know if this is the game for it. As the stun comes out, full control, ET ulti afterwards, but Quincy crew just back away as the double buybacks come.
The team fight behind the Dusa is just so pathetically like underwhelming. It's like they... I guess Dire just has so much team fight, right? They just all in on Dusa, and you know, if Dusa can't right click, then she's not doing any damage.
True enough. Tier 3 tower getting assaulted and no answer. Tomato can't even walk up. Like you said, you got Ravage, you got Black Hole behind him. He's got BKB on Enigma right now. They got all the answers. Pango drops like freaking rock. And now, with the last Raxes likely to go down here, barring some type of crazy play, it's just GG called. They don't even take the last fight. They're done. They're over. Going to game number 3.
Well, even if they did try to take that team fight Lyrical, I don't think it would have ended well for them. So, yeah, bowing out here in game 2. I think they need to readjust their game strategy. Let's get Bryle on a carry. Let Tomato, you know, be more of the supporting cast, and yeah, let him do his thing.
Yeah,
good comeback from Quincy Crew, regardless.
Right. I think that it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, if they sort of go with your prescription of trying to put one of those heroes that keeps Quinn in place and forces them into an area. I don't know what that hero looks like besides Morph necessarily. Is there any that you sort of have in mind? Just
any of the pushers. I don't know if Bryle plays Death Prophet, but kind of that idea, like the Death Prophet, the DK, the Morphling, maybe even like a Shadow Fiend. I could see him playing.
You know,
somebody that's just going to blast that midwave over and over.
Out there, you know, Suns fan, he's been talking about it all season. The Shadow Shaman mid, he keeps talking about. When you said Shadow, I could feel the hairs on his back of the neck.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that live on the air. There's too many pubs that would be ruined by the result of that. So, do not pick Shadow Shaman mid, guys. Do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go a quick break. When we get back, the panel is gonna break down all the action. Game number 2 is in the books. Game number 3 soon to come. See y'all then.